Welcome guys, today is day 2 of our 5-day yoga challenge. I hope yesterday went well and you felt so good after and so just released and energetically open. Today we are going to be focusing on our hips. And the hips, like I briefly mentioned yesterday, are so important because our hips are where we store a lot of emotions. Specifically, we store a lot of fear and anxiety in our hips. And so this is fear of moving forward in life, fear of taking that step. So it's very symbolic because our hips are what allows us to move, to take a step forward. And so when we feel stuck in our hips and when we start storing all of our fear and these emotions in our hips, it can block us, literally block us from moving. So today we are going to open up our hips so that we can open up and release some of that energy and some of these emotions that we are storing right here. So let's get started. We're going to get started in Malasana, which is that yogi squat that we were in yesterday. So feet are a little bit more than hips distance apart. Toes are facing at a 45-degree angle out. And just sit down into your squat. Now we are starting here because we want to get those hips nice and warm and just open. We're really focusing on this area today. And Malasana is one of the best postures I can think of, really just sort of getting the front back side of the hip. So wiggle your Malasana here a little bit. So bring the right knee down and then bring the left knee down and just find some movement here. The hips really love movement because it helps us just sort of move all the energy through them. So today in all of our postures, or not all of them, but in some of our postures, we're going to find this movement, this little rock side to side, because we want to be getting everything moving. So just take a couple breaths here. And then walk your hands out in front of you and find sort of this child's pose almost. So forehead is energetically reaching down towards the mat. The fingertips are reaching forward and you're rounding your back. Take a big inhale breath here through the nose. And open mouth exhale. Sinking down even deeper into the hips. Big inhale. And open mouth exhale. One more breath. Inhale, fill up the whole back body with air. And exhale, sink. Bring your hands out right just in front of you, straighten your legs, and we'll come into a forward fold. So wiggle your feet back, hips distance apart. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, look up halfway, straighten the back. And exhale, fold. Grabbing onto the elbows, finding ragdoll pose, bending your knees as much as you need to. Do not overstretch your hamstrings right in the beginning. You're not warm yet. So keeping a small bend in those knees. And again, maybe rocking side to side. And as we move through the hips, we're also going to be stretching out the hamstrings, the IT band, and the quads. Because those are all connected to the hips. And so it's not enough sometimes just to work into the hips. We need to also work into our legs. So today we will find some good stretching in our legs that will help us open up in all of our hip opening postures. Come to a stillness, drop your hands down, and vertebra by vertebra, roll up to standing. So stacking each vertebra on top of each other. The neck and the head are the last thing to come up. Still working up, moving slow. Inhale, hands come up overhead, and exhale, fold. Inhale, look up halfway, Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, Utkatasana. We're already going there. Exhale, airplane arms. So again, torso comes down a little bit, the shoulder blades down the back, fingertips reaching towards the back of the room. Inhale, reach up, straighten the legs, and exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, Utkatasana. Listen for the change. Exhale, right hand comes down, left arm forward as you look back. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm back, twist. Inhale, Utkatasana. One more time, follow the gaze back. Right hand drops. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, left hand drops, right arm forward. Inhale, straighten the legs, and exhale, fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, step back into your plank pose. Inhale, take a breath. Exhale, bend the elbows 90 degrees. Inhale, Urdhva. And exhale, Adho Mukha. So first downward dog of the day, begin by pedaling out the feet. So lift the left heel, drop the right, and then switch. Drop the left, lift the right. And just continue with that switching. So finding each hip here. As you press the right heel down, you find that stretch in that right hip. As you press the left heel down, you notice the left. Wiggle the head, yes. Wiggle it, no. Just releasing the neck, bringing the shoulders further away from the ears, so drawing the shoulder blades down the back. And come to a stillness in your feet. Inhale, come up onto your toes. And then exhale, send them back down. Inhale, up onto the toes as high as you can. And exhale, send the heels down and heavy. Inhale, up on the toes. Exhale, send the feet down. Inhale, right leg comes up, bend the knee and open up the hip. Take an inhale breath here, reach that right knee up even more. And as you exhale, bring it into the chest, out and around. So doing these little circles here, opening up the hips. So drawing circles with your knee, using your breath each exhale, the knee comes into the chest. Inhale, it goes out and around. So we're really just opening up the hip here, getting all that nice juice going, all that synovial fluid in our hip. We're releasing it, we're allowing it to flow. Good, one more. We'll end with our knee up, reaching towards the sky. Big inhale, and exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, right knee up. Exhale, bring that leg through, drop the left knee down. Inhale, crescent pose. So bringing your hands onto the top of that right thigh, maybe elongating your stance a little bit so that you really are opening up this left side body. Take a big inhale breath here. And exhale, sink down even lower. Inhale, hands come up overhead. And then exhale, frame that foot, come up onto the back left knee. So now you're in a runner's lunge. Inhale, pull your heart forward. And exhale, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, Utkatasana. Inhale, find that twist. Exhale, drop the right hand back, look back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, drop the left hand back. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, airplane arms. So torso hovers onto the thighs. Arms are reaching back. Take a big inhale breath here. Exhale, sink down even lower. Inhale, come up to standing. And exhale, fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, step or float back through your chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva. Exhale, adho. Inhale, left leg comes up, bend the hip, or bend the knee, open up the hip. So really finding that expansion and that stretch. You should feel this both in your right hip flexor and your left, going up your left quad. And then exhale, bring that knee into the chest, and inhale, out and around. Exhale into the chest, inhale, out and around. So finding the movement in your hip here. Again, this practice is all about releasing these emotions that we store here. So it's important that we really use our breath to move that energy out of our hips. So don't lose the breath. Don't lose the connection to the breath. One more. Meet up with our knee pointing towards the sky. Big inhale, stretch. And exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, stretch that knee up. And exhale, bring it through. Drop the back knee down. Hands come to that left thigh. So again, just find that perfect stance for you. Maybe you need to wiggle that left foot up a little bit. Grounding the tailbone down. The crown of the head reaches up. Engaging the core, navel to spine. So we don't want to be dumping, we want to be engaged. And as we engaged, we pull up onto that right thigh. We're pulling back with this left. Inhale, hands come up. Exhale, frame the foot, come up onto the back toes. Take an inhale breath here, pull the heart forward. And exhale, stand up to the top. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. One breath. Inhale, Utkatasana. And exhale, fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, step your hands back or jump chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva. Exhale, adho. Inhale, right leg to the sky, toes point down. Exhale, bring it through, warrior one. Inhale. So back foot spins down at a 45-degree angle. Hips are not out to the side. Hips are squared forward. The back leg is nice and strong. I'm sinking into that right thigh. Interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale as you draw those hands down that left thigh, opening up the chest. And exhale, fold inside that right knee. Big inhale, breath, and exhale, fold even more. As your hands reach more towards that front room, and the head, the crown of the head energetically reaches to the mat. So one day, if you're not already there, I'm definitely not, but one day the top of your head will touch the mat. This is a big, big stretch in the right hip, but it's an active stretch, so we're still strong. We have to be strong in our legs to keep ourselves up here. But as we gain that strength, we're also finding this stretch and this opening in that right hip. Take one more breath, big inhale. And open mouth, exhale, let it go. Inhale, hands come up overhead. Exhale, drop your hands down inside that foot. Walk this right foot out to the edge of the mat. Toes are pointing at a 45-degree angle. You can stay here in lizard's pose, or you can come down to your forearms. And again, maybe you're finding just a little bit of movement here, rocking side to side. I know my hips absolutely love this when I just find little circles or little just movements back and forth. And we're going to stay here for 5 long, deep breaths. So you want to stay in a position where there's a lot of sensation but no pain. A place where you can hold this comfortably for a good 5 breaths, and yet you're still really working and stretching and feeling how lit up that right hip is. You can always come down onto that left knee. It does not mean that you're weak at all. This is an amazing stretch too. There's no difference. You're just using different postures to get into things in different ways. If you drop the knee down, lift the knee back up. If you're on your forearms, come back up to that sort of plank position in your arms. Take an inhale breath here, and then exhale, come into that plank. Inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva. Exhale, adho. Inhale, come up onto the balls of the toes, and exhale, press the heels down. Inhale, up onto the balls of the toes, as high as you can get. Exhale, press the heels down. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, bring it through, warrior one. Inhale. So again, squaring off the hips, you don't want to be open. So squaring off the hips, sending energy down that left heel and out through that right foot. Then interlace the hands, different pinky on top, so awkward grip here. Inhale, as you open up the heart, you draw the hands down the back, bend more into that left knee. There you go. And exhale, fold inside that left knee. Hands reach overhead. But make sure you're not squishing your ears and you're not squishing your neck. So even though your hands are trying to move towards the front of the room, can you draw the shoulder blades down the back? And as you do so, do you find more expansion in your belly? You find more freedom in the neck, so you can nod your neck, yes. You can nod it, no. Release the jaw here. Release just any tension in the face. There's no reason to be tight in the face. Your face isn't doing anything. And then take a moment to notice this left hip. Does it feel different than the right side? Is it more or less tight? Just notice. And we'll come back to sort of what it means if the right side is tighter than the left. But for now, just bring awareness to it. Take one inhale breath. Open mouth, exhale. Let it go. Inhale, back up to warrior one. And exhale, bring your hands down inside that left foot. And scoot that left foot over. So I'm coming up onto the balls of my right foot here. The left foot is pointing towards the side of the room, well, towards the 45-degree angle. And you can stay here, you can drop down the knee, or you can drop down the forearms. You can lift the knee and beyond the forearms, just whatever you did on the other side, or whatever this side just calls for. Again, maybe finding little circles one way and maybe circles the other way, or maybe just a back and forth motion. Remembering that sensation we want, pain we don't. So back up, come onto your hands if you need to. If it's too much here, just come onto the hands. And then maybe for the last couple breaths, find that stillness. Try and focus on the back of the heart. With each inhale, you expand the back of the heart. In each exhale, you allow your body just to fall deeper into the mat. You allow that left hip to just open up a little bit more. One more breath, big inhale. Stay for the whole exhale. If you're on your forearms, come up onto your hands. If you're on your knee, lift the back toes. Take a big inhale breath here. Exhale, step that foot back. Inhale. Exhale, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva. Exhale, adho. So downward dog. Pressing the hips back even more. Inhale, come up onto your toes, bend your knees, step or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Take your right foot and place it on the other side of the left foot. So you're wrapping that right leg around so that your right pinky toe and your left pinky toe are facing each other, almost touching. There's probably going to be a 2-inch gap in the middle. Inhale, look up halfway. Then exhale, fold into this beautiful IT band stretch. So like I mentioned, the hips aren't just isolated. It's connected to our legs, to our hamstrings, to our IT bands and all that. So if we have tight IT bands, it's going to be really hard to get into our hips and to get those to release. So this is a perfect stretch for that. Again, just the head and neck shouldn't be doing anything here. So if you need to, move it around a little bit, shake it a little bit, just to sort of remind yourself that you aren't holding any tension there. One more breath, big inhale. And exhale, see if you can fold a little bit more. Inhale, bring that right foot back in its original position, hips distance apart. Inhale, look up halfway. And then grab onto your big toes with your peace fingers. So grabbing onto the 2 big toes, inhale, and exhale. Use the strength of your arms to pull yourself in closer to your chest. So maybe you need to bend your knees a lot here to get this. And that's totally okay. It's still the beginning of the practice. We want to be safe. We don't want to overstretch those hamstrings. But wherever you're at, press more energy into the toes as you pull up more with your peace fingers. And it's this resistance that we create right here that really just allows us to find that really nice stretch. If you don't know where the stretch is, you should be feeling the stretch in the back of your hamstrings, but I'm pretty sure you feel that. All right, release the hands. Inhale, look up halfway. And then exhale down. Now take that left foot and bring it behind that right. Both pinky toes are next to each other. Inhale, look up halfway, flat back. And exhale, fold. Stretching alongside that left IT band now. Just because we're upside down, don't lose the breath. In fact, see if you can take your longest inhale breath here. Really filling up the belly, filling up the back of the legs, filling up the back of the heart, filling up the arms and the neck and the head. And exhale, just let it go as your belly comes closer to that right thigh. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Come back to the regular position. Feet hips distance apart. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, fold. Step back into a plank position. Lift that right foot just an inch or 2. So that right foot is just hovering. Engage the core. Squeeze the left leg. And bring that right hand out to tap that right pinky. And then bring it back. Lift the left leg just to a hover. Straight. Strengthen that right quad. And then bring that left foot up. Maybe it touches that pinky on that left side. Inhale, the right leg comes up. Exhale to touch. Inhale, back. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale to touch. Inhale, back. Come into that plank. Inhale, breath. And exhale, push back, downward dog. Inhale, right leg comes up. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Stay here or flip it on over for Chamatkarasana, wild thing. So that right leg is still bent. The left leg is straight. The hips are reaching up towards the ceiling. My heart is reaching towards the front of the room. My right arm is reaching forward. I'm releasing my head. Big inhale. Hold for the exhale. One more big inhale. Filling up the back and the front body. And exhale. Flip it back on over to that three-legged dog. Inhale, right leg up. And exhale, bring it through, warrior one. Inhale. As you exhale, we're going to come into half staff on the right side. So exhale as you straighten the right leg and you bring the left knee into the chest. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, squeeze, half staff. Inhale, warrior one. So find something on the ground to look at to keep your balance so you can exhale, half staff. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, half staff and hold. Take that left foot, cross it over on top of that right knee. Hands come to heart center and begin to sit down into your figure four. Flexing the left toes. Slowly, slowly, just inching your way down. Lifting up the heart. Crown of the head still reaches up. If you don't feel this in your left hip, I swear. Whew. Maybe you can take it all the way down so your hands come onto the mat. Just deepening the stretch. Keep the inhales and keep the exhales long. You can stay here in this stretch if you want to follow me. Place the hands firmly on the ground. Bend that right knee even more as you hook that left foot on the outside of that right tricep. You're going to come up onto your tiptoes of that right foot, and maybe you will lift that right foot off of the ground as you hug that right bicep in with the left foot. This is a insane hip stretch. So straighten that right leg if you can. Look forward, creating that shelf with your elbows. Big inhale. Hold for the exhale. Inhale. Hold. Bring that foot back in. Find that forward fold. And then inhale, come back, hands to heart center. Come into that figure four. Take a moment, pause. And inhale, come up to that half staff. And exhale, come into warrior three. So reaching the hands forward, flexing that back foot like you have a flashlight on your heel and you're trying to shine the person behind you. Engage the core. Just try and straighten out as much as you can. Drop that right hand down. The left hand comes up as you find half moon. So bending that right leg a little bit, but you're flexing that left leg. And you're finding that twist. It's a balance, it's a twist. It's core work, it's leg work. Look up with that right eye. And then exhale, bring that top hand down, find standing split. So reach that left leg up as much as you can, drop the head down. Maybe grab onto that right heel with one hand, maybe two, really challenging your balance here. And exhale, drop that foot to meet the front. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, Utkatasana. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, drop that right hand down, look back. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, drop the left arm back. Inhale, Utkatasana, come to standing, say ah, and swan dive down. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, step or jump back through your chaturanga, or simply meet us in downward dog. It's a beautiful option as well. Inhale, left leg comes up, bend the knee, open up the hip. Again, you can stay here or flip it on over for Chamatkarasana, wild thing. So my left arm is reaching forward. I'm trying to get my heart to be center so it can shine to the ceiling. Press more with that right leg. So straighten and strengthen that right leg. Drawing the shoulder blades down the back will elevate your heart even more, as the bottom of those shoulder blades really push your heart up. One more breath, big inhale. Stay for the exhale. Then flip it on over. Inhale, left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, warrior one. Inhale, come up. Finding your strength in this warrior one. Take a big inhale breath. Find your drishti, find something to look at. And exhale, squeeze that right knee into the chest, half staff. So inhale, arms come up, maybe look up. Then exhale, like you're pulling down on a bar, you squeeze. Inhale, look up. Exhale, squeeze. So using that exhale breath to give you that momentum to go forward. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze and hold. Hands, getting off balance. Hands come to heart center. Take that right foot, put it over that left knee, and sit down into your figure four. So here I'll talk about a little bit about the difference between the right and the left side. So our right side of our body is our masculine side. It deals with things like work and school and productivity, goals. And then we have our left side, and that deals with everything to do with family, relationships, home, everything that has to do with our feminine energy. So if we are tight on our left hip, sink down a little bit lower. If you came into that arm balance, go into that now, placing your hands on the ground, coming up onto that left toe, squeezing that right foot and flexing that right foot so much that it squeezes that left bicep so that you can find this elevation here, and then let that left foot go back. So if we are super, super tight in our left side hip in particular, we would want to look at sort of our fear that we are holding towards our relationships. Come back into that figure four if you're in the arm balance, and slowly come up. So fear in relationships, fear to move forward in anything that has to do with family or our feminine energy. Bring that knee into the chest, and then kick that leg back as you come into that warrior three, flexing that back foot, reaching the arms forward, engaging the core. So just notice if there's anything on that left side, anything to do with nurturing yourself with home and family, with those relationships, any stagnancy there. And that's what you're going to want to focus on, breathing and releasing out as we're in the left side hip. Now open up to half moon. Right arm up. Maybe look up at that left eye. And if you're in the right side of your hip, and that right side is super stagnant. You might want to look at the stagnancy you have in your career, in your productivity, in your resiliency, in your next step forward in life. Drop that top hand down, find standing splits. Maybe grabbing on with one hand to that ankle, maybe grabbing on to with the other. So just play with that and just notice that, just remembering that the right side is masculine, the left side is feminine. Exhale, bring that top foot down. Wiggle out the feet or the legs, both legs, pedaling them out, bending the one knee, bending the other. Inhale, look up halfway. Then Padangusthasana. So you're going to slide your hands underneath your feet. So you're stepping on the palms. So the toes are in the wrist creases. Might be a little bit funky, but it is such a great upper back stretch and such a great hamstring stretch. So as you put more weight into the balls of your feet and you press your feet down into the mat, you pull up on your hands. Again, bending your knees as much as you need to. Last breath. And then releasing the hands. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to standing. And exhale, draw the hands down through heart center. Inhale, lift the hands up. So you're reaching the hands up and then bring the right foot or the right leg into half staff. Find your balance here. And then take that right leg simultaneously as you bend your left leg, you're going to wrap that right leg up and over. So maybe you just bring that right foot just right by the left ankle on the side, or you do one whole wrap and sink down into it. Take your hands, right arm underneath the left, coming to eagle bound posture. So this is a glorious, I don't even know, it's a everything stretch. We're getting into the hips here, but your whole body feels it. So as you squeeze your arms, you're going to squeeze them down so that the shoulder blades go down around the back. Nice. Engage the core, sink down lower. So the key here is to squeeze more. If you were sort of half squeezing and all that, it's going to be easy to be wobbly. So if you just go, okay, I'm doing it, I'm squeezing, I'm going to be here, that's when it actually becomes easier. And maybe that's how it is with life sometimes. Maybe it's like, it's the half doing something that's actually the hardest thing. And that can make us really wobbly and unstable. But it's the conviction of, I'm just doing it, and you put your full force into it. You just take that step forward. And then things work out. You become more stable. You're successful in the posture. All right, inhale, release. Come up to standing. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, hands reach up overhead. So engage the core here. Root down with both feet. And then lift that left foot, that left knee into the chest, finding that half staff. Pause here for a second. Find your balance. Find your drishti. So we don't want to just go into this posture and not have anything to look at and to keep us in balance. We want to be balanced and steady first. So we don't want to go straight into it and then have all these problems. Gain your strength here. Take that small step forward first. And then once you achieved that small step, then bend that right leg as you wrap the right or the left leg over. Maybe stop right here. Maybe wrap all the way around and just begin to sink. So we haven't even done the arms yet. We're not fully in the pose, we're not all the way down. And just pause here, gain your strength here. And then left arm comes underneath the right and clasp the hands. So draw the shoulder blades down the back. And then begin to sink down lower. So if you are fearful in life for moving forward, maybe it's just going to take that conviction to take that one small step forward. So squeeze even tighter. Squeeze your legs even tighter, hugging them more towards the left side of the body. They want to go over to the right, so bring them in towards the left, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. As you squeeze tighter, notice how it gets easier. It's easier to balance. And then don't forget the breath here. So together, take a big inhale. Fill up the legs, even though they're constricted. Fill up the legs with air. Fill up the belly with air. Fill up the back of the heart. And then exhale, squeeze it all out. Inhale, come up to standing. And exhale, draw the hands down through heart center. Take a big breath here. Just tuning in for a moment. Noticing if there's any message that you can take out of that last posture that we just did. Any message that you can take into your life. And inhale, hands come up overhead. And exhale, fold. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, plant the hands, step back into that plank. Inhale, breath here. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg comes up. Exhale, touch the right foot with that right pinky, and then set that foot down. So we're in this lizard posture now, but left hand is down in the center of the mat, right arm reaches up. Finding this twist, and then drop that back knee down. So you can find more of a twist in your upper body. And come up off of that back knee. The last two breaths with that back knee lifted. Drop that right hand down and come into Prasarita. So toes in, heels out. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, fold. Grabbing onto maybe the outside of your ankles. Again, letting the head go. Crown of the head will one day touch the mat. Shoulder blades away from the ears. Get them away. Good. Inhale, look up halfway. Now exhale to the back of your mat. So now it is going to be your left leg that is in front, okay? Both hands down, just take that foot back. So now you're in a plank, the back side of the room, the opposite side of your mat. And then inhale, lift that left leg up. Exhale, touch that left foot with that left pinky, drop the foot down. Right hand in the middle, inhale, left arm up. You can stay here. You can drop down the knee if you need. Shoulder blades down the back, find length in the back of the neck. Find the sensation in the hip. And then with each exhale, just let that sensation go. If your back knee is down, bring it up for the last two breaths. Bring that top arm down. Come on over to Prasarita again. So toes in, heels out, finding a nice long stance. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. So we've been here before. We were just here. So find something new in this posture to think about. Maybe think about your hips here. How can you release your hips even in this posture that doesn't seem like it's a hip opener, or it's not a hip stretch per se, But can you release the upper thighs? And then walk your hands over to the left, step that foot back. Drop onto the knees. And we're not going to go into cat-cow. This time to stay in the tabletop position. Inhale, lift your right leg up. So press like you're trying to press the ceiling up with your foot. Engage the core here. And then exhale, drop that right knee behind the left. And begin to sit back. So we're coming into Gomukhasana here. My knees are stacked on top of each other. My feet for less are pulled in. My feet for more are out. Take your hands just onto that top knee. And honestly, I stay here most days because this is such an intense stretch for me right here. So we're actually going to hold this for a good minute, minute and a half to really just allow that fascia to break loose, to allow our motions to release. And so as we are stretching here, I want you to think back again to what we were talking about with the right and the left side of the body, and specifically the right and left side of the hip and what that means. So where is it that you're fearing in life? Where is it that you're fearing to step forward, that next step? If you want, you can walk your hands out and come into a deeper stretch, bringing your chin into your chest and maybe resting it on that left knee. So just take an inventory here. And if that thing comes to mind, that thing that's blocking you, that thing that you are so fearful about, that's blocking you from going forward and being productive and successful and taking that next step in life, can you, with each inhale, bring expansion to that emotion? And then with each exhale, send it out of your body. Release it from the hips. It doesn't belong there anymore. So big inhale, expand that emotion, expand the hips. Feel a lightness in your hips. And then exhale, blow those emotions away. And I'll allow you now for the next 30 seconds or so to really just dive deep into releasing all that you need to release here. Inhale, walk your hands back up. Should feel nice and juicy on that side. Simply just take your legs out and unravel them and give them a good little wiggle. Then however you want, just come back into that tabletop position. Inhale, the left leg comes up like you're pressing the ceiling away, so engage those glutes, engage the core. We're going to pause here for a second. Master this pose first. And then drop that left knee down by the right and come into Gomukhasana. So it's not uncommon for yoga teachers to see a lot of people start crying and getting very emotional when we go into these deep hip stretches like we are right now, because there's so much stored here. I've been in so many classes that I'm teaching, and I look over like to the corner of the room and someone will just like be in pigeon's pose or in Gomukhasana like this, and they're just tears down their face. So if you're feeling sort of this bubbling up of emotion, that's good. Let it go. Let all the stress and the stagnancy and the emotion that's stored here, allow it to come up and through and out through your tears. So we're sometimes fearful Walk forward if you did so on the other side. We're sometimes fearful of releasing the emotions because, oh, I don't want to seem like I'm weak. I don't want to cry. That's such a baby thing to do. But really, that's how we get it out of our body. So if you're needing to cry here or to deep breathe or to simply just feel somber and to feel what these emotions are, allow that to be. Allow yourself to feel. We're not going to get rid of it if we keep on stuffing it and storing it into our hips. That's just going to eventually block us in life. We're not going to be able to move forward. And so allow this stuff to move through and out of you. So work with what it is on this side that you need to release. This right side, this masculine side. Inhale, walk your hands up. Unravel your legs. Give them a good shake. And then come into a cross-legged position. Hands face or palms face down on top of the thighs. And we're going to end practice here instead of in Shavasana. So if Shavasana is really, really calling for you and all you want to do is lay on your back and let go, then do so. Listen to your body. Or you can sit up tall with me, shoulder blades down the back, crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Our palms are face down in symbol of grounding. So we're grounding in, we're grounding into our body, into our truth. Imagine that your tailbone has an anchor, and it's anchoring down into the core of the earth. So your tailbone pulls down. But then imagine that you have a string that the sun is pulling. So your head is reaching up. So you're anchoring down and you're reaching up, aka you're elongating the spine. You're finding more height in the body. Take a big inhale breath here. Open mouth exhale. Ha. Inhale. An audible breath. Ha. So this ha sound, it stimulates relaxation in the body. It allows us to release emotion. So we're going to do this 2 more times. And all this emotion that you're storing here in your hips, I want you to bring up and out of your body through this vibration in the back of your throat. So big inhale. Sigh it out. Ha. One more big inhale. Sigh it out. Ha. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank yourself for being here, for coming onto your mat today, and for allowing more expansion and more light to come into your body. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for coming with me on that journey of opening and releasing our hips. I hope that you find that you're able to move forward in more places now. So the more and more that you work on releasing here, the easier it is to take those steps that you need to in your life. I look forward to tomorrow where we are going to be stoking our fire. After all, if we release our hips and we're free to move, let's have that inner strength and this desire and this passion that we stoke here to direct us into which direction we should step forward. So I am so excited for tomorrow, but have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.